So a week ago, I had asked you to ask me some questions and I would answer them. So this is that video. There is going to be a link or a list of all the questions in the description, along with a link to the timestamp they're at, so you can skip to any particular question. And with that, let's get started then. How do you acquire so many Maicos? I don't think I've ever seen one for sale on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace in my area. So that's kind of the key there, in my area. So first of all, so how many did I buy in this area? So in this area, I bought the 2005 Maico 500, the 1996 Maico 440, the 85 Air Cold, and the 81 490. All the rest of them, I shipped them here. Oh, no, I also bought the other 2005 or 2004 Maico 500, the one I used for the 660. I also bought that locally. So all the ones I shipped here. So that's kind of a key thing in your area. You got to look outside your area, and then you got to ship them. So you got to be willing to pay the extra price to ship them. So every bike here, I've shipped them from Florida. I've shipped them from New Jersey. I've shipped them from Ohio. I shipped them from Michigan. I've shipped them from Germany. So yeah, you have to be willing to ship them. And I'll tell you that I use Haul Bikes to ship my bikes, and they've been fairly reasonable. I like them because they're an actual bike shipping company and they take good care of the bikes. I mean, they ship, these mint condition, hundreds of thousands of dollars paint jobs on these Harleys that are in the trailer. So they take good care of these bikes. And the price varies depending on where they're at. It could be $450, it could be $100. But be willing to pay to ship. So I see them on Craigslist all the time, Maicos. Depends on what you're looking for. So I see bikes for sale all the time on eBay, Craigslist, all over the place. So but again, be willing to ship the bikes. You have to be willing to ship. Which is your most prized bike you have, and why do you have so much? I would have to say that the bike that I really like the most is my 83 Maico 490. And why do I have so many? And why do I have so many? Well, I just liked the bike, and it was something to do. It's like kind of a hobby, and something to do living in Oregon. There's nothing else to do here. So, if I was living, somewhere else, like Florida, maybe I'd have a bunch of, jet skis. If I was living in Miami like I used to. But since I'm in Oregon, there's not really too much else to do here. So I got into dirt bikes, and then I just got into wanting them all. And riding them all and trying them all. So that's why I have so many. And Merry Christmas.
Yeah, there's stands in there.
What's that?
There's stands in the garage, please.
Which is your most prized bike you have, and why do you have so much? I would have to say that the bike that I really like the most is my 83 Maico 490. So, and why do I have so many? Well, I just liked the bike, and it was something to do. It's like kind of a hobby, and something to do living in Oregon. There's nothing else to do here. So, if I was living, somewhere else, like Florida, maybe I'd have a bunch of, jet skis. If I was living in Miami like I used to. But since I'm in Oregon, there's not really too much else to do here. So I got into dirt bikes, and then I just got into wanting them all. What was your first Maico? Second question, what was your favorite Maico and why? So I'll allude to the story at the beginning of this video, but the first Maico that I actually was able to purchase was that 82 Maico 490 that I have. My favorite Maico is the 83. And the reason I like it so much is probably because it was the first Maico that I owned that I was riding for a year. I just always liked the looks of them. Looks of the 83, they look really, badass, And I like the way it rides. It's simple. It was always been reliable. I've never had any problems with it. It's just been a great bike. So that's why I put disc brakes on, so I can continue to ride it because it wouldn't break. And so I wanted to keep riding that bike. And so the only thing that was lacking was being able to brake. And so that's why it's got disc brakes all around. So that is, I would have to say, my favorite bike. It's got a lot of low-end power. It's just an all-around great bike. Interested in purchasing a Maico 700, what roughly is shipping costs and where can you buy new spare parts? Shipping costs are going to depend on where you are and how you ship it. You have whenever I was ordering mine, you had two choices. You could ship by air or by sea. Sea took longer but was half price. Since you have to ship it specialty, when I shipped mine, originally it was only going to be $800, but it turned out to be a little bit more because it had to be shipped because it's a dangerous container or something like that. And so that bumped up the price. And shipping was only, and by sea was only going to be $450. I would say that total cost of shipping plus the importer. Now, in order to import the bike, you need to have an import broker. They do all the paperwork to get everything through, and whenever I did mine, the importer charged total with the taxes and everything I needed to pay to import it was $450. So $450 for importer plus import taxes. And on top of that, then the shipping costs, which is somewhere around $1,500, I think at the time. It's a couple of years ago. So you're looking at a total beyond the cost of the bike, $2,000 to get it in here. That's what my estimate of what you should plan for. About $2,000 for shipping if you're going to ship it by air, and the import fees and taxes and everything else. So yeah, it was around that. I'm not sure if it'd be more or less now, or depending where you are, but that's what it cost me to import that bike. Spare parts. Depends on the part. All parts you can get through Costler. So anything that's very, very Maico specific that needs to be purchased, you can get through Costler. Now, the thing I would say about Maicos is, there's nobody who sets these up and everything. And so you have to sometimes do things a little bit yourself. So one of the things I would say is that the very first thing that happened to me was my hydraulic clutch cable broke. So I'd be prepared just to buy a new hydraulic clutch cable to put on it. That's an actual, not the plastic thing it comes with, but a better one. So the parts vary. So some parts are standard. Some parts are from a Y, like the plastics, you can replace it with YZ250 plastics from 2000. You can also, some parts are KTM. So depending on the part, depends on where you can get it. At the crux of it, the part can be gotten directly from Costler himself in Germany. And that would be the only place. If you're going to get a new side case, you're going to have to get it through him. But some parts, like I said, you can get from other places. For the 700, a kicker, for example, you could probably also get from Zabel. KTM 550 kicker also works. So it just depends on the part. But mostly expect that some, core parts you would have to get from Kawasakis in Germany. Like if you're going to get new gears, gaskets, unless you make them yourself. But some of the other stuff, sprockets you can get on eBay. I get them on eBay all the time. The sprocket for this bike is 86 and up. For the 700, it's 86 and up Maico. In fact, the swing arm is 86 and up Maico. So a lot of parts for the frame and stuff are similar for other Maicos. Also, 1979 Honda CR125 rear sprocket also fits. Same thing. So it depends on the part. The plastics are YZ, except for the tank and the shrouds. So if you want to get new graphics for it, there's JJW Designs that is in Washington State that has templates for that bike. So yeah, it just depends. The seat cover, it's a YZ seat cover. 2000 YZ seat cover. So it depends on the bike. Of course, you're not going to have the Maico name on it, if you get a YZ seat cover. But so you can get them mostly from Kawasakis in Germany. But depends on the part. You might be able to get it, from just a local store. I mean, chain you can get anywhere. Sprockets you can get on eBay. So Bing carburetor parts you can get from Bing directly. So. In your last video, I saw Lectron carburetor sitting on the bench. Are you currently using one on a bike? What do you think of them compared to a standard Bing? Oh yeah, I have a Lectron sitting on a bench over there. I bought it for the Maicos 660. I was originally going to put it on there. Mostly to see if I could do something different with the airbox, but I got the Bing working now. So I only hooked up to the bike one time and started up, and it was running too rich. Didn't really seem to have any power. It seemed to run rich and didn't have any power. And I didn't try to tune it. Because it's supposed to come tuned, I think. But so yeah, I haven't used it. Not using it. I'm not planning on using it right now. So I have no idea how they work or how they'll work on these bikes. Again, the one I have sitting on my bench is a big one. It's a 40, I believe, for the 660. So currently, not using it, and I have no plans to use it. What's the total cost of your collection? Bytes and parts separate. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Well, I couldn't tell you how much money I have in parts and everything. I have a bunch of new tires over there. I got a couple of new chains. I got throttle cables. I got that Maico engine. A lot of crap I don't remember is in there. Other spare engines. So much stuff. Plus, I've got these bikes, and some of them I completely rebuilt. Put new side cases on this one. So I have no idea. What I can tell you is at least what the base price is. What did I base price pay for these bikes? And so the 81 to 490, I paid $2,500. The 82, I paid $1,700. The 85 air cooled, I paid $3,500. The 440, I paid $2,600. This bike, I paid around $2,000 or $2,500. Don't remember. This bike was $3,500. The Maico was $8,000 before shipping. This was $550. That was $7,000. That bike there was $3,000. $2,500 for that frame on that 660, and I paid like $1,000 for the engine. The 2005 Maico was $3,600 and $2,500 for the 86. So all of that is about a little over $50,000. Just in buying the bikes, not in any parts or rebuilding or anything else. So just buying these bikes was $50,000. Who was your dirt bike hero? I'm a Malcolm Smith man myself. Him selling kids motorcycles during the moronic Bush ban solidified my respect for the ISD champ. Scott Summers and his ability to manhandle a big bore XR600 makes him my second pick. Merry Christmas. I actually don't have a dirt bike hero. I don't really follow anything. I just trail ride and stuff like that. So, I don't really follow any sports or anything. So I think that as far as people's skills, I definitely have a lot of respect for Jarvis and Walker and those guys. I think they're pretty good. Yeah, I mean, a lot of those guys ride dirt bikes better than me. I mean, Reed Carmichael, Travis Pastrana, and Jerry McGrath, and then the guys from the 70s, like Stratton and all those guys. I mean, they all, Brad Lackey. Yeah, I mean, a lot of those guys, they definitely, ride. A lot of those guys. I mean, all those guys. Gary Mosier, Magoo. I mean, all those guys can ride really good. So a lot of respect for all those guys and how they can ride and what they can do. But I don't really have a hero. It's not like I'm like, yeah, I want to be that guy. But yeah, a lot of respect for them. But yeah, I don't really have any heroes per se. I don't have any posters of anybody. I don't really track anybody's career. And when I look up stuff, I'm more interested in, there's people who can ride, sure. But a lot of times when I look up stuff, I do look more into who developed what technology, So I also look up more to some of the other people like Walter Caden, who came up with the expansion chamber and how he did it. It's pretty fascinating. So a lot of the people behind building these bikes, I also would say they're not my heroes or anything, but some of them have done fairly impressive engineering work. So I wouldn't say it's just looking at people who ride bikes, but also people who build technologies. Hello and Merry Christmas. I'm wanting to know if you might know of a good part supply so I can return my 81s to a like new condition. Who does powder coating and who has the best choice in shocks? I also have an M-Star 490 that I don't know the year of. I like to turn it to new as well. Can be identified by the frame number, so it's 3620777. Unfortunately, I did not hit the read more on this. If there was more, you'll have to let me know in the comments below. So, 362 would actually be a 1983 Maico 490, not an M-Star. So I don't know what makes you think it might be an M-Star. If it is saying 362 on the frame and 362 on the you'd either have a D362, an FL362, or an FK362 on the engine cases themselves. And it should still say Maico on the side case unless someone changed it. And then that's an 83. Someone could have put an 84 seat cover on or something like that. But if those are your numbers, then that would be an 83. You can get parts from Kostler in Germany, or locally you can get them from South Cal Maico or even on eBay. But yeah, you can contact South Cal Maico. He has usually a lot of parts that are in stock. Your first moped or bike, when you have started buying bikes, have you ever sold any of your bikes away? If yes, what bike? If there's a bike that you've always wanted but never get. So, my dad, when I was growing up, he built me a go-kart. So that was my first bike, I would say. And then we borrowed an ATC 110, and then my cousin gave me an ATC 90. And then my first actual dirt bike, I got from the guy up the street from me for my birthday present. Not from him, from my dad. But he spent all night fixing it up, making it run. He bought it for $40. It was a 1971 Kawasaki 100. have you start buying bikes? Well, I would say the late 80s, early 90s when I started buying bikes. But by 2000, I had gotten rid of all of them. So, you know, all the bikes that I got rid of back then, 1979 CR125, CR250, 1976 CR250, 1980 or 81 RM250, 1974 TS250, Kawasaki 100, I guess 71. I think that was it, and some straight bike that I had traded that I never rode. But and then recently, the only bikes I ever sold was a 84 KTM 495, 86 CR 500, 84 Husqvarna 500, and a 82 Maico 490. I had two of them. I bought one for $400, and I just sold that to a friend so they would have one. Because I wasn't planning on building it. I would just use it for spares anyway. So that was the only reason I got rid of it. But I would never sell any other Maicos. Because I already had one. And I wasn't planning on building it. So a bike I've always wanted but could never get. Well, not always wanted, but a bike that because most of the bikes that I've always wanted, I've gotten. Now I did, want an RM 500 and CR 480, but that kind of dwindled a bit. But the Maico 545 is one that I want, but I can't find anyone selling one. So, one of the bikes I've always wanted was 81 and 83 Maico 490s. I have them. I always wanted one of these newer Maicos. I have one now. I wanted that's 97 Maico. I have one now. So I wanted 700. I have one. So most of the bikes that I've wanted, I've gotten now.